The growth of user-created content over the years, due to the website that you're currently watching this video on, has led to an incredible number of personalities be available for our viewing pleasure. This extends to almost every topic that there could possibly be, being discussed by having people that are dedicated enough to sharing it through the videography they create. However, content produced by a single person cannot continue forever, and for reasons including tiring of the creation process, frustration from a lack of viewership, or obligations made in the real world, they may choose to leave it all behind. In this video, I'll be showcasing various channels that have produced Smite content over the years, and the reasons for their departure from the game. I'd like to think that I managed to get a large majority of these channels, but if I did miss any, then please comment about them so I can add them to a pinned comment list below. I'll be going through these in order, but there are timestamps in the description if you're looking for a specific content set. Feel free to use this, and skip to which category you'd prefer. Now, without further delay, let's start reminiscing. MaxTooTheLimit can be credited as the channel which popularised the funny moment genre within the Smite creator scene. Beginning in 2015, this content was the main focus of his channel, as he continued to produce these videos almost exclusively on Smite, with other games being a rare sight. This was the case until the 27th of September 2017, where his last video was uploaded and no announcement anywhere that he was leaving. In this last video, he stated in the comments that he left due to the growing toxicity within the community, and as he states, the top people within said community. For the previous year, a decline in his viewership could be seen slowly creeping, possibly due to the viewers becoming disinterested in his content, or due to a declining interest in Smite. In fact, that reason could be repeated for many channels in this video, so I'll only mention it here. This wasn't the end for Max, however. A few months later, he announced his new channel, Battleground Lollipop, where he makes the same type of funny moments content, but on other games. Max seems to have left Smite behind completely, leaving only his old channel and the memories we have of it. Surprisingly though, Max recently uploaded another Smite video to his original channel, completely ruining this section of the script. But nothing else seems to have come from this so far, and it might have been a one-off. To get more info, I guess I'll have to ask him. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I found out about Smite through some big YouTubers that got paid to promote the game, and then I started playing the game after I met MythyMoo. I stuck with it for a while because I had fun playing the game with friends.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
I wanted to make YouTube videos because I have played games almost my whole life, and I always enjoyed comedy, so putting them together was the perfect thing. Also through videos I learned just how much I loved editing.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
The reason I quit was the game was so toxic. Having fun was just not possible unless it was a full pre-made group. Another reason is I had a group of friends and fans that I was really close to, and they all turned on me one day in Discord. It made me feel so bad I just stopped playing everything. I got so down over time that me making a new channel was really the one saving factor. I had to relearn feeling comfortable again, enjoy what I was doing, and just gain trust again. I'm glad that I had Kathleen, my girlfriend, to help me through it all.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
It's an okay game. It was very buggy the last time I played it, but I still get negative feelings when I play it for the reasons I gave before. But once again, I can't play it for more than 2 games without someone yelling at someone else, which really sucks all the enjoyment out of the game for me.
Well Max, whatever game you choose to share you and your friends' hilarity with, you'll always be held as the original inspiration for the Smite funny moment genre. TheSmagann posted their first video on the 29th of May 2014, which was a year before MaxTooTheLimit posted his first video, and due to the channels both focusing on funny moments, I am aware that I have already contradicted myself. But I digress. These gentlemen proceeded to produce content for a while, using specific gods or ideas for the basis of their videos, and letting the funny moments come from said idea, which differ greatly from the usual play a set number of matches and siphon what enjoyable moments are presentable. This carried on for 2 years exactly, as on their 2nd year anniversary on YouTube, they posted a video detailing their departure from making Smite content.
So, since today is such a special day, we wanted to have a cool video out for you guys. You know, all the stops pulled out. You know, really cool, flashy, jazzy, as per usual, of course. But the problem with that is we don't have any clips, because we haven't been playing Smite, like, at all. We've been playing a lot of other games, as we always have. We've always been playing a lot of different games. But even though there are plenty of funny times, and I have plenty of clips and even videos of those times, we never thought it was appropriate to post it here, because we've only posted Smite-related content for the past 2 years, and we're kind of named SmiteGuys. Oops.
Soon after, they started posting videos on Overwatch. However, they only posted 2 before disappearing. 6 months after their last video, they uploaded an advertisement for their new video on a new channel called SpiffSinister. This channel consisted of the same type of content they were producing for Smite, but on a variety of games, including PUBG and PUBG. They did produce one Smite video, which was also advertised on their original SmiteGuys channel, but so far it only has been one video. The channel has not seen an upload in a while. One important note to bring up is that they held a straw poll on their departure video on the SmiteGuys channel if they should rebrand the channel or make a new one, with rebranding winning by a large majority. Strange then that only 2 videos later they switched channels. Anyways, in other news, the SmiteGuys have recently decided to return, just to spite me I suspect. But to find out the reasons why, I suppose I'll have to ask them about that. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
So Honey Bunches, my fellow Smite guy who appears most frequently in our videos other than myself, was the one to introduce me. We reconnected after high school, and he and most of the other guys were already playing it. It was one of the main reasons I switched from League of Legends.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
I was influenced by many YouTubers over my life. I think who inspired me the most was Kiori, now Barney64, who made League of Legends content back in the day. I think my style most closely follows his. My goal with YouTube has mostly just been saving the good times for my friends and I have been playing together. It's just been something great to look back on. Audience interaction has been fun, but really has never been the focus. It's great to see others enjoy us having fun, of course.
If you did, what was the reason you quit Smite?
We never really quit the game. We have our hiatuses because something new comes along or one or more of the group members have life events. Right now we aren't uploading because my new job requires me to travel 80% of the time, though we'll be coming back until the servers shut down, I imagine.
Why did you stop making videos on the SmiteGuys channel before your recent return?
I started uploading stuff on my Saucy Kaz channel because I was making content that was a solo effort and that wasn't Smite related. Felt like the right thing to do at the time.
What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
Smite is still a fun game with friends. My biggest issue is the monetization. Loot boxes / chests are embarrassing. Back in my day you could buy a skin you wanted outright.
While not reaching the viewer and sub counts as other channels, the SmiteGuys were able to produce well-edited content with personalities that kept their viewers coming back. TheGamingOtaku is a channel which seems to have always consisted of diverse content, containing funny moments, guides, reviews, seemingly whichever type of video he wished to produce at the time. All of these videos all being on different games, with so many that I'd rather not waste time listing them all, so I'll focus on his Smite content for now, with his first Smite video being published on the 17th of November 2015. His early content consisted of full match uploads with his commentary, however this garnered him very little viewership. Over time, this content changed into funny moment videos and god guides. While it was plain to see that he was certainly getting into a groove of his preferred style of video, these changes still did not result in major growth. However, he still acknowledged the small following he had, and cared about their opinion to which games he should pursue. This could be seen in the several vlogs he had made over time. One of these vlogs stands out from the rest, however. In the video titled "Everything is Decided, Finally," he announced that due to the lack of viewership on his videos unrelated to Smite, and his following preferring his Smite content, that would be the game he would pursue.
There's some other stuff I wanted to do a quick little update on. Since we're no longer doing Pokemon, I decided to just become a full-fledged Smite YouTuber.
From here, not much changed. Well, not until he released this video. Apart from some Warframe build videos he made years ago, this commercial was the first piece of Smite content that had reached any level of moderate success, and was a style of content unique to the Smite viewer base. It seemed to change nothing in the greater scheme of things, however, as he continued to produce Smite funny moments, montages, and guides, all of which were gaining slightly more viewership than before. An increase in a few hundred views may seem little to most people, but for smaller channels it could look like a lot. This continued until the beginning of 2018, where Otaku announced he would no longer be posting funny moments. The reasoning was to produce more creative content that wasn't found on other channels. The content he decided to create onwards was more Smite commercials, in a similar vein to his Hasten Fatalis one. None of these videos, however, gained any large viewership that the original had. This new direction didn't last very long. Only 3 months later did he announce that from now on, he would only be making the content which he wanted to, seemingly abandoning the commercial idea altogether. He went back to posting funny moment videos and full matches again. I even appeared in one of his videos, even though I don't remember him saying he was even recording.
He can't leave tower, Bastet. He gets beat up.
Cool kid's coming to take my lunch money.
He said he fucked my mom.
This all continued until the 14th of May, where Otaku announced his departure from Smite, changing his channel focus to Borderlands. However, this announcement video is unavailable now, and its only evidence of it ever existing is a link to it on Twitter. Today, Otaku is still posting Borderlands content, and even streaming his adventures in the game very often on his Twitch channel. It would still be nice to get his current views on Smite though. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I found it when I searched free-to-play multiplayer games and stuck with it because it was a game I could play and fuck around with my friends. Simpler times.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
It was a big thing back when I made a YouTube channel. I saw other bigger YouTubers doing it and it looked like fun. I've always wanted to be an entertainer.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
I didn't 100% quit Smite. I still play it, but I refused to make content for it. I left the community because I just couldn't get traction. After the Smite commercial videos, nothing else did well. I did collabs and everything, but I couldn't get the views, so I left. Just wasn't my community. I haven't looked back since.
Why did you stop making videos altogether?
I was simply too busy. At the time, I was streaming, editing streams into YouTube videos, working a full-time job, and occasionally editing another YouTuber's videos. To get a full 15-minute video at the time, I needed to stream about 6 hours to have enough content. So I decided to remove YouTube altogether from my list and focus more on streaming.
Final question. If you have any, what are your current thoughts/opinions on the Smite?
The game is in the same state as it's always been. Shitty communities, shitty matchmaking, busted gods that are being ignored, and Hi-Rez, or I guess Titan Forge, ignoring the community's concerns.
While the few unique video concepts he produced for Smite will be appreciated, after all this time the man has finally found a type of content which he enjoys producing, while getting an audience at the same time. And isn't that what every creator wants? Now we're getting to the subsection of this content style that I refer to as the Moo crew, consisting of friend, friend's girlfriend, girlfriend, frosty slave, and
Bad channel.
Whoa.
they all made very similar content and appeared in each other's videos very often, so I'll wrap them all into this one segment. DelladoSmite / Kkevox started out making short videos based on Counter-Strike, then Overwatch, before moving on to Smite, a recommendation most likely made by his friends. It was at this point where his content became the MythyMoo style of funny moments videos, playing a few games with friends, showing the most entertaining pieces, all while some chill tunes play in the background. This continued until April of 2017, where he disappeared until January of the next year. One more Smite video was posted until he stopped and branched out his content to other games, while keeping the funny moments format, although one more Smite video was made. In May of 2018, he disappeared again until January, again, where he posted again. To my knowledge and resentment of the thought of scavenging through his Twitter to find a reason, he has never stated to why he moved away from Smite. Time to ask him. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it?
I first found out about Smite actually through PewDiePie, I think, because he made a video on it like ages back, and that's how I found out about the game, and I played it for a bit in the beta, and then I didn't touch it for years. Honestly, I just stopped, and then through my friend, I met PunkDog, and he was friends with MythyMoo. So it all kind of like went in a really weird direction where randomly one day I met MythyMoo through Ed, PunkDog, and they just randomly put me in their sub box, and I was like, what's going on here, because nobody kind of expects that, because I was just like, I had 11 subs or something. But they really liked me, and then I was like, what's this Smite game they're playing? Because obviously I played it before. I was like, let's try it.
Similar thing happened to me actually. Just years later, I logged on. I already have an account.
Yeah, exactly. I have like 3 accounts at this point, honestly. And then I saw what they did, and then I saw what Myth did. And the reason I actually started doing YouTube is because I wanted to parody Myth. And that's the weirdest thing, because I don't know what happened. I just randomly thought, you know what? I'm just going to do a similar fashion to him. So it's kind of like inspired by him, because he was doing the funny moments in Smite early on. And he pretty much carried that whole
He
scene,
like,
obviously.
Made the whole sub-genre like really popular.
Yeah, definitely. He made it really big. And that's just kind of how it started, actually. There's more to it, but I don't want to bore you with that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Don't be afraid to bore me with details if you want. Video's already over an hour and a half long. I can make it longer if I want. Right.
Oh, it's gonna be like a full documentary for like TV.
Yeah. You already kind of went into like why you were originally making videos into that, so I'll skip that question. What was the reason you left Smite?
I think for me the main reason was genuinely mental health, because when you get into Smite and you create content for Smite, you are going to be stuck with Smite for the most part if you want to keep your viewers up,
I think I actually do know what you mean.
So it's kind of like you kind of get put in a box with all the MOBAs. It's kind of like that. You get put in a box and people don't really want to look outside the box. And then they're like, hey, do Smite. And then you're like, oh, shit. Is swearing okay, by the way?
Oh, yeah, that's fine, man.
All right.
Don't worry about that.
All right, because you're kind of like, oh, what do I do if everybody just wants to see Smite? So you keep creating Smite and you keep playing Smite. You force yourself. And then it just kind of gets still after a while, because it's like you're doing the same thing over and over,
Yeah,
and that's just kind of what made me push myself away, because I'm a creative person. And if I can't be creative, my mental health is going to suffer, essentially. And that's what happened. And then I was like, I need to take distance because it's not good for me, essentially.
Okay. Is that like similar to like, yeah, I noticed you haven't like uploaded in like 6 months or something. Is that like kind of a similar thing?
With YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's with YouTube as well. I had to kind of like push myself away from it. I had to regroup myself, and now I just edit for a living instead.
Okay. Well, like, you got something pretty good out of it at the very least.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Me and PunkDuck, we work with Evil Mojo and Paladins right now. So
yeah, I heard he moved over.
Interesting, actually.
I heard he moved over to Paladins actually like ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Seems like you Seems like you two are doing quite some lucrative businesses over there.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's really fun, actually.
All right, final question. What are your current thoughts on Smite, if you have any?
I feel like it's in a good place, actually, from what I see.
Oh, okay.
And like the community seems to still be thriving for some reason. That sounds really like cynical, but obviously since I have a weird connection with Smite, it's kind of like it's really good to see, of course. But it's kind of like I can really appreciate the people that stuck with the game because you can clearly see that they have passion for the game, and that's what made them stick with it and still create to this day. And I like seeing that because that just kind of like lifts up the spirit in the community, and it kind of keeps it thriving because it's like obviously like it's not the biggest community, but it's still pretty known in a sense. I don't know if that's a fake answer.
No,
I'm terrible
I
at
get
this.
what you mean, like.
TFA96 started posting videos slightly before Dellado, and was immediately producing the Funny Moments format. The patented by me, so don't think about stealing it, that shit's mine, bitch, Moo crew, made appearances in her video as well, especially Dellado. She kept at it for almost a year, until she stopped posting videos in April 2017 for a few months, before coming back with 2 Limbo Funny Moments videos, and then promptly left again. Nowadays, she streams various games on Twitch, whilst also taking commissions for Twitch emotes, using Twitter as her mother base. And in case you're wondering, I don't know if her and Dellado are still dating, and I'm not intrusive enough to ask. I will ask her thoughts on Smite, however. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
So I first started playing it in beta when I watched PewDiePie make a video on it. I believe back in 2014 I was watching Umreka play it too, and what really got me into it was the way it looked and the fact it was related to mythology. I got really invested in Norse mythology at the start. Whenever I was in school I'd tune into Twitch and watch live streams to kill time. I was never great at the game, anyone who watched my content knows that, but I enjoyed messing around. Also, it was free to play, and at the time my parents weren't willing to take my money to buy me a game, which worked out well in this case. I was pretty on and off with it for a long while, and then one day I started watching Fangs, MythyMoo and PunkDuck etc, and drew fan art for them, and seeing the game again made me really want to get back into it. It was super refreshing after a long break, and through it I've made so many friends that I have till this day.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
I wanted to make videos ages back really, even back when Smite was in beta. I loved the idea of doing some kind of content around it. Unfortunately at the time I was more dreaming of it than anything. A couple years went by and I met people within the Smite community and became friends with a few, and when I told them I'd love to start a channel at one point, all of them were super supportive. I was 16 at the time, and having people I recently looked up to tell me I had potential to do it and encourage me to follow my gut was super heartwarming. I asked around and invested into a A2020 mic and bought Sony Vegas since it was on sale, and tried recording a few videos with Shadowplay that were left unlisted and never uploaded, just as a trial and error to see how I found recording and editing. It was frustrating at first, but I watched a few tutorials here and there and got the hang of it by probably the 5th video. There's of course so much more I could have done in order to learn the software more, but for what I wanted to do with my YouTube, what I had then was enough. I knew I wanted to make funny moments, since I enjoyed watching them more than basic gameplay, and I was aware I'm no way that skilled at the game. Looking back, I honestly don't think that I'm that funny, and that even when making them and titling it Funny Moments, I was sometimes sitting there like, yeah, you wish you were. But yeah, it was mostly early dreams and encouragement from people I looked up to.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
I got busy with life and stopped creating content. I had a lot less time to play the game. Overall, I feel ever since I quit I actually became a bit happier. I used to only play with subs, followers or friends because people were pretty toxic in-game, whether it was a conquest or arena game. I've not played in probably like 2 years at this point, and at times I think of going back but only briefly. I have some more personal reasons for not really wanting to return, but I'll keep those to myself.
What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
I'm afraid I don't actually keep up with Smite. I follow a few Smite content creators, mostly just to support them more than anything. I've heard it's gotten better over the years, but then I've also had people tell me it's not worth going back to.
Papamis, formerly known as Artemis Gaming, used to produce content very similar to her at the time partner MythyMoo. This cannot be seen anymore, however, since the videos have been made private. On her community tab, she posted a tweet longer, which detailed why she took down her gaming videos, saying it was due to her feeling like she was forcing herself to make videos, some of which were never released just to please her fans, and not having time to do any of this. The only scrap I could find was an image of her last Smite video on Twitter. Nowadays, she produces short videos about her travels to other countries, posting them seemingly when she goes on one. Anyways, Smite opinion time. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I think it was 2015. I found out about Smite because I was subscribed to MaxTooTheLimit and I saw how much of a laugh he had playing the game. I played a few games of it with the official MythyMoo now. I didn't really think much of it until I broke my hand a few years ago and wanted to play something that I wasn't just going to struggle with too much. I still struggled, but I saw how much there was to the game, lore, abilities, etc., and wanted to learn regardless. I was dating Myth at the time, so I wanted to play a game that he also enjoyed, even if it was just laughing at how bad I was at the game.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
I think like most people, my love for gaming came from PewDiePie. I used to come home from a bad day at school every day in 2012 to 2013, and his videos would cheer me up. I was inspired and thought maybe one day I could do it too. Nothing major, but just have a little community too. Around came 2014, and I had a group of friends that I would come home and game with every night. Eventually the YouTube videos that were awkward videos just sort of blossomed into a place where I could keep the memories of past gaming experiences.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
I wouldn't really say I quit, I just grew out of it.
Why did you stop making videos altogether?
When I was in my teens, I had no idea what direction I wanted my life to go in. I was depressed and anxious and used gaming and YouTube as a coping mechanism. I used to spend an unhealthy amount of time online. I was going into the level equivalent of the first year of university, and that's serious. I couldn't screw it up. I had already had a shitty year in 2017 and tried to disconnect myself from being online as much because I knew it wasn't good for me. Eventually, I just fell away from it. The big friend groups I had grew apart, college and work got in the way, and I started to prioritise my mental and physical health. I started to recognise what was good for me and what wasn't. Unfortunately, the things that used to bring me joy were weighing me down. I'm still very much in limbo right now about whether I'll ever make anything again in the future, just because it will never be how it was, who knows.
What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
On a less depressing note, I've been very much out of the Smite scene since Arjahn released, so that's at least 2 years. I still occasionally jump on for a quick game, and I still see the patch notes, but for the most part I've fallen away from it, which is sad. But the friends I've made through the game I still talk to, so it's not all bad.
It's very likely that you already know who this man is. He's pretty much the most popular Smite YouTuber, gaining incredible growth since his first Smite video. Producing a Smite video every day for almost 4 years is a feat if I've ever seen one, especially if your opinion on said game has been on the decline for so long, as such is the case with Myth. I don't think I really need to talk about the content that Myth produces, since everyone already knows about his funny moments format, which inspired so many. So I'll instead mention the more interesting videos, such as his rant videos, pretty much the only outlook other than Twitter where he vents his frustrations with the game. I could explain all of these videos, but you're best watching them for yourself. All you need to know is that the first of these videos put Myth on Hi-Rez's bad side, ditching him from a show that he had starred on the official Smite YouTube channel. This frustration seems to have reached its peak in 2019, where he announced in this video that he would be making videos on games other than Smite.
It's just so dumb. I was really hoping that with Season 6 coming, something good would happen, but it's only gotten worse. So many players have left and are currently leaving, including everyone except for one of my friends, and I don't blame them a single bit. But now, what's next? Well, you've probably noticed that I've been uploading more different videos, and I will continue to do so. I'll still stream Smite and do a few videos here and there, but Smite is just a joke at this point. And yeah, this was just Smite.
To this day, a Smite video from Myth is rare, but it seems that he hasn't quit entirely, but right now it looks like he has next to no interest in the game. Honestly, I can't really blame him, but this topic could honestly be its own video, so I won't digress from the current situation. While we may already know the man's opinion on the game, I still want confirmation. While the content that Myth and his Moo crew produced may not have been to everyone's liking, it certainly seemed like it once was. I can only assume the masses tired from the same formula over and over. I guess that can go to show that in order to hold a viewer's attention for long periods of time, a little new thing here and there might be able to prevent any loss. But if they enjoyed creating these videos, simply because it was wonderful to edit together all the joyous moments you and your friends have, then maybe popularity was never really the goal. Starting in September of 2014, Luke uploaded his Smite videos almost exclusively under the name The Diamond Troll. Now, I don't want to repeat how these videos were formatted for every creator, so I'll only mention it here. These commentaries featured a full upload of a single match, with the creator giving their commentary. The main draw of this content was always the personality speaking over the gameplay, whether they were charismatic enough to hold the viewer's attention, or knowledgeable about the game to explain player motivations and strategies. SmiteGuys would fit into the former, producing this content to a very positive reception for almost 3.5 years on an almost daily basis. Notable moments include his channel name being changed to TheSmagann in April of 2016, and a video where he stated his thoughts on Smite in late 2017. Spoiler, it's not so positive. He discussed his growing distaste for the game, and the burnout he was feeling from Season 4 in particular.
I know a lot of other YouTubers have made videos similar to these right now because, well, mostly everyone kind of feels the same way, and it's just that they're not enjoying the game of Smite as much anymore. And for me, it's more than just being a little burnt out. I'm not having fun at all when I play it, really. As you notice, I've been doing some other games from time to time, and that's mostly the reason because in the past I only played Smite and that was it. So, I mean, burning out is bound to happen, but it's just happened so much worse this season that it's definitely more than just that. It's just, if I'm really enjoying it, I will definitely pick it up again because I really like editing the videos. It was just playing it was just not fun for me this season, or this split I should say, because early in the season I was able to get away with it and it wasn't too bad, but recently the enthusiasm dropped so much that I can't even make the videos entertaining, which if the game's not as good as I would like it to be next season, I don't know. I won't actually think about that. We'll try and we'll keep that for the future. We'll think about right now because, man, if the season's not good next year, it's not going to be too good. So, yeah.
When the new year of 2018 came, he announced another name change, this time to HotHandLuke, and so far has remained the channel's title. This name change couldn't seem to twist the cruel weaves of fate, however, since his last Smite video was uploaded on the 16th of February 2018. 3 days later, he announced a break he was taking from content creation altogether. I guess Season 5 didn't impress him. Later that year in May, he made a comeback video, stating he would no longer be producing Smite content, and that he was making a move to Fortnite. This didn't last long, however. Only 12 days later, on the 22nd of March 2018, HotHandLuke uploaded his last video. The abandonment of his channel, followed with his Twitter also being left behind, left me to have to request an interview through his Steam account as my only option. While SmiteGuys may not care for content creation now, his almost 4-year presence on this game certainly brought joy to many people. Shivoki started making Smite content in September of 2015 under the name Bro Pro. Until this point, he seemed to produce videos randomly on various games and real-world activities since 2010. I'm unable to precisely pinpoint when he changed his channel name to Shivoki, as there seems to be no announcement video about it, or maybe I'm blind. But anyways, he made a variety of content apart from just commentaries. This included God Guides, God Lore, Top 5s, and a show called Topic Tuesday, where the man simply talked about anything he wanted to at the time. This continued on an almost daily basis until the 21st of June 2017, where he announced his focus being moved to streaming rather than video production. From here, he uploaded a few stream highlights and a fundraising video to help his father's cancer treatment, although I couldn't find an update on his condition anywhere since then. From here, he disappeared from YouTube until returning a year later, announcing he would be posting more stream highlights of various games. Smite was not one of them. He posted one more stream highlight video on Overwatch before leaving again, only to return a few months later posting a streaming schedule. At the time of writing, this has been his last upload.
Hey Daniel, hope you know I'm streaming this live on the Steam page, Facebook page, YouTube page, and of course Twitch. You're live for the entire world to see right now.
Alright, sir. I'm not minding it.
So you sucked my dick 3 times. 3 times. Jeez, 3 times.
Because I'm a US Marine.
Dude, I'm a legit Marine vet. Please don't say that. That's the reason.
While he did disappear from Twitch for a while as well, he has recently made a comeback, playing Mordor for a little bit. Luckily, there was a link to his still active Discord in his Twitch description, so I was able to directly contact the man.
How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, it was I heard about League of Legends, and I thought it was okay, and then I played it for a little while, and then someone was like, well, do you ever hear of Smite? And I was like, what's Smite? And like, well, it's got a bunch of mythology and cool gods, and I love mythology originally, so I was like, okay, let's check it out. So I originally checked it out for the mythology, and I stayed in it because I just loved the theory crafting, and the community was awesome. This is like season 1, season 2, season 3 of Smite. Just fell in love with the theory crafting and the people, and overall the gods that kept being released.
Okay. Next is, why did you originally start or want to make YouTube videos? Just in general, not like related to Smite.
Yeah, it's actually funny. So if any of the OG Shivoki fans or whatever, or Shivakadu fans, whatever they want to call me, know my channel, back in the day, it used to be youtube.com/Bromo Productions. Now, in high school, all my friends were Bromos, like BROMO. We were called Bromos. It was really weird. We had this like Modern Warfare 2 clan. Yeah, that's how old I am. Okay,
honestly, that's a pretty sick gang name.
Exactly right. Yeah, it was fun. So we had a clan called Bromo, and we used to do like 360 no scope videos and all those like old Call of Duty videos, and we created a channel. So kind of I did it for a friend situation, and in the long end, what I ended up doing was continuing it when I got stationed in Japan. I was in the military. I wanted to do it for like side cash and just kind of side fun, because of course I love playing games. So I just picked up the channel again, created the name Shivoki, and went with it.
Okay. Next is, what was the reason you left Smite behind?
Oof, that's a long, detailed one. I won't go super into it. But the main thing was I was super unhappy with my actual personal life, to be honest with you. And it's weird that ties in with Smite, but it really does. I was super unhappy with my actual personal life because I looked at YouTube as a job at the moment. I loved, not really a job, but it was kind of something that I had to do because everyone wanted it, and I loved doing it, and it was fun. But Smite slowly got tiring for me and annoying for me. And with the things going on in my life, I was just super unhappy with the game and super unhappy making videos, and I hated being fake behind the camera. So I kind of quit it all in general altogether, Smite and YouTube.
Okay. You kind of already answered the fourth question with that as well, so I'll just move on to the final one. What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
So I'll be honest with you, I actually re-downloaded the game about a month or two ago. I played a few times, and I was so surprised seeing my clan completely dead. I was like, oh my god, my clan. It used to be like one of the biggest clans in Smite. One of the biggest clans in Smite, and it was gone. I was like, no. But it was a little saddening. That's not the status of Smite. But as far as the game, I'm really happy to see them coming out with some really cool gods. I do keep in touch with some of the YouTuber fans. I'm still really good friends with people like MaxTooTheLimit, and of course his girlfriend. I've talked to Solo Double J a few times, so I'm happy to see that they're still thriving and they're still doing their thing, and the game looks fun. The gods coming out look awesome. I have played it a few times, I just don't know what it is, guys. I just love so many other games right now. Like I'm just so in love with a bunch of other games. I love like Mordau and different things, but I am happy to see that Smite hasn't failed. I am happy to see that it's kicking butt and doing good and creating new gods. And overall, I hope to see it thrive and do better than Paladin's doing. Because I think Smite's a really good idea.
I suspect viewers have the same attachment to Shivoki that they did with TheSmagann, enjoying their personalities and their content enough to support them for so long and continuing to do so. In fact, the same thought process could be applied to every YouTuber. Lost Scarf started uploading in late 2012 and immediately began with Smite content, preferring to upload full gameplays straight from the start. While Smite was the channel's beginning, it never truly seemed dedicated to the game to where he would make it the main focus of his channel, always uploading and streaming a variety of games. His commentaries never gained too much viewership, but what I, and I'm sure many others remember, are his Smite guides. These videos consisted of several topics, including gods, game modes, and even lane roles in Conquest. This continued until he uploaded his final, or what I think is his final, seriously look at all this, Smite video, on the 28th of April 2016. In the description of this video, he stated he would be taking a long break from Smite, with no reason given. Later that year in June, he returned with a video saying that he would be coming back to Smite for a single stream. This same concept was then later repeated that year in November, which has so far been the last Smite-related content uploaded to his channel. While Lost Scarf seems to have lost his enthusiasm for Smite, his joy for streaming and uploading videos is certainly still here. To this day, he still uploads and streams on Twitch, so getting a hold of him wasn't too hard. A content creator who just enjoys playing games and sharing good times. What could be better? Beginning in 2011 and uploading gameplay videos since his inception, Squiddish didn't start uploading Smite videos until early 2013. Where the viewer reaction seemed to immediately be positive. This Smite content continued as Smite gradually gained more uploads over time, but still never truly being the focus of his channel. At least, this was the case until March 2014, where his last Smite video was uploaded with no explanation given to why it is the last of its kind. The comments on this last video state that he was getting stream sniped regularly, and that he was removed from Hi-Rez's streamer list. I've also seen a discussion on Reddit where people described the guy as being quite toxic while streaming, complaining about the game and rage quitting a lot. I guess there's only one way to find out if that's true or not. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I honestly couldn't tell you how I first found it. That was way back in early beta. I'd assumed I saw a YouTube video of it somewhere and decided it was interesting, but honestly I've got no idea. It was my first MOBA, so at that time the genre was still new and exciting to me. I had very briefly tried League with some friends once, but I hated the click-to-move crap. Smite was like League if it was an actual video game and not RuneScape.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
When I got into Smite, I was already creating content for other games and growing a YouTube audience. I did all sorts of variety on the channel, so I folded Smite in originally just as another game I was looking into. Trust me, my videos were far from guides. I literally posted my first ever game, when I had no fucking idea how MOBAs even worked. I just ran around on Ymir and chased people through the jungle all game.
What were the reasons you quit Smite?
Long story. Suffice to say, burnout and some pretty sizable disagreements with Hi-Rez.
Final question. What are your current opinions on Smite, if you have any?
I haven't so much as glanced at Smite in years. I have no opinions because I have no idea what they've been up to.
Squiddish still streams regularly on Twitch, while uploading the archives to YouTube, so if you're still heartbroken about his departure, at least you can enjoy the man doing other things. Perhaps this is what people enjoyed about Squiddish the most, though. To them, the type of content that he made didn't matter. It was the commentary that he brought to the table which made him memorable. Now we are at the commentators which I'll wrap together, those being the duel focused channels. Since they all made very similar content, which was uploading a duel match almost every day with their voices over the entire game, I'll only discuss their emergence, notable moments, departure from the game, and their current going-ons. TydeTyme started making Smite duel content in October of 2014, after a few other uploads of other games. While uploading those other games on occasion, this duel content for Smite was pretty much all that Tyde ever posted. This was until a game called Dead by Daylight was released in early 2016, a game that Tyde seemed to gain an equal amount of enjoyment from as he did from Smite. From here, the tale goes very closely to another YouTuber I'll mention down the line. The Dead by Daylight content slowly started to match the number of Smite videos being posted, until they were taken over completely. The last Smite video he released was in April 2017, and no other announcement came along with his departure. However, at this point, the number of Dead by Daylight videos were far surpassing his Smite releases, so perhaps he felt it unnecessary to do so. To this day, Tyde is still uploading videos about Dead by Daylight, such as news about the game, balance, guides, and the standard gameplays we're used to. All this activity made it pretty easy to get into a conversation with the man. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while? For this question, Tyde sent me an interview he already did. It answers the first and second question pretty well, but it's a bit too long to be read out, so there's a link to it in the description. What was the reason you quit Smite?
There were several. It's a terrible community with terrible people within it. Not really worth making content for. Granted, not everyone is terrible, but the vocal majority are. The queue times for Duel were at the time 20 minutes for a 10-minute game, which is just unacceptable for a game. Finally, I no longer felt connected to a game that was trying to enforce how the game was played instead of its original open style of fresh builds, ranging from high DPS to utility builds. I should also mention that when you beat a pro player, as a YouTuber, they get extremely butthurt. Pro players would often take their time to harass me on the side, and Hi-Rez would do nothing to prevent it, and neither would the esports teams. Denial being probably the worst offender of harassment.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
Don't follow Smite whatsoever. Don't know what it's done in the last 3 years. Haven't even taken a second to look back.
Now with that over with, I feel like it's important to mention the drama and dislike from the Smite community that surrounds TydeTyme. Well, I would if I could find an actual explanation of what triggered this. Most of it is just memes about how quote-unquote mean he is. One point of criticism I've seen is that the man used an item combination called Frostalis, using both Frostbound Hammer and Hasten Fatalis together to slow the enemy target with basic attacks while losing no speed. Complaining about it being an overpowered item combination and about him using it, rather than requesting to Hi-Rez that one of the items be banned in Ranked Duel would probably be time better spent though. Apparently he was also acting toxic towards other duelists, having some beef with Sexy Rexy in particular. Any videos that were made on each other seem to not exist anymore, so determining what happened without direct contact with one of them is close to impossible. There is one video on Rexy's end where he fights TydeTyme and seems pretty happy about it. There is also the quote, "the one who never loses" in the comments section, which is supposedly from Tyde, which is also a meme, I think. What the fuck is this shit? Some explanations also state that he was being raided by 100 or so people while streaming a duel match between himself and a pro player, who challenged him. People disliked Tyde's attitude while being trolled by said parties, but everyone involved on both sides was probably being a shithead. I really don't think this matters anymore. Let's move on. There was once a time where Bennna was crowned as one of the best duel players in Smite, being able to achieve the #1 ranked spot in the game mode. This was all while he streamed his ranked adventures, gaining a pretty good following and respect from the Smite community. He posted his first video on his channel in May of 2014, which was a pentakill highlight. Mysteriously, he had a link to his Twitch channel in the description of this video, so I'm actually unsure of when he started streaming. Over the course of 2015, Bennna would stream Duel regularly, and the community giving him the title of the best 1v1 player in the world. He would also upload specific matches to his YouTube channel. When Season 3 for Smite rolled around, Bennna seemed to have a change in focus while playing the game. Instead of trying to be the best player, he would only try to entertain people watching his streams. This was due to frustrations with Season 3's meta, such as magical defense items being too powerful, constant disconnections from matches, and a dislike of the TP system used for ranked matchmaking. He would continue to post on his YouTube channel until Season 4 of 2017, where in February he would just suddenly disappear. I'm unsure if he also stopped streaming at this time, but I can't find any of his past streams on Twitch, and there isn't too much talk of his disappearance anywhere. He must have left at some point, because in February of 2018, he returned for only a brief period of time, showing that he's still got it.
Treat myself for blink. Ah! 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 Ah!
He also uploaded a YouTube video around this time, a guide on how to play Hebo in Duel. Despite being labelled as the first video in a series, this would be the last we see of Bennna on YouTube. Around this time, he would post on Twitter that he wasn't currently enjoying the state of Duel, and that he wouldn't be playing the game for a while. That while seems to have gone on for a while, because we haven't seen him since. At least, that was the original ending to this part, because Bennna recently made a comeback on his Twitch channel, and yeah, he's still got it. With him being active again, talking to him about the game would be nice.
How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
Well, basically I played another MOBA game, which was called Land of Chaos Online. The game died. There was too little players. It moved. The entire player base moved to Russian servers. That server died as well. So we had no more game to play. Everyone from the community, we had like a massive Skype group of 50 people actively talking daily. And then we all hopped from that MOBA into Smite, which was currently into, I believe, closed beta. So it was like right when Smite basically came up, I started playing it. What made me stick to it? Well, it was just the community, and I suppose I really liked the old Smite Conquest map a lot. So that's what basically made me stick to it.
Nice. All right. I guess it's kind of cool that you had like this huge collection of people that you went into the game with.
Yeah, we were like actively talking every day for about 7 years after the game died even.
Damn.
It was amazing.
That's pretty cool.
That was Land of Chaos Online, but it will be remade actually. I think it's already remade right now by one person. It's on Steam, but I guess I'll try it out soon. It was the best game I ever played, but this is just one person who remade it with the Unreal Engine 2, I believe. I'll just check it out once. I was number 1 when that game died, and then I decided I want to continue playing MOBAs, and it was just like Smite, the same perspective. What do you call it? Third person?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to play League of Legends for sure, so I preferred Smite.
Okay. Since you did both like YouTube and Twitch, what was the reason you? I'll change that question slightly. What was the reason you wanted to start doing both?
Well, I first was just playing a lot without streaming. Basically, I was just reaching number 1 in Duel, and then I decided I really enjoyed talking about game in general, like giving tips to friends and stuff like that. Then I decided to stream. Started off actually quite good and already because I just clickbaited everyone with. Well, it wasn't really clickbait because I was actually number 1 at that time. So I just put it in my title. People came by and I started talking about the game, and I really enjoyed sharing thoughts about the game, about how the game should be. I maybe talk about that a little bit too much on my stream.
We all have those thoughts.
Yeah, and just about itemization, builds, and I consider myself a streamer who really focused on gameplay and just tips and tricks in general when I was streaming, and I really enjoyed that, so I just kept doing that.
Yeah, nice, man. What was the reason you've quit Smite like multiple times? I guess.
Yeah, there's a huge love and hate relationship with the game.
I think that applies to everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I've been hearing that a lot as well. But I guess I really enjoyed the game the most when I was playing Duel. I guess it was called Joust at that time. It was 1v1 Joust.
Yeah.
It was the old map. I'm not sure which season that was. I believe season 1 for sure, and season maybe 2, or was it already the new map?
I think it was season 2. I remember watching a few of your videos that took place on the old map.
Well, the old map was just my favorite thing ever. It was just, it was way more dynamic. Right now, the new map has one buff, red buff in the middle, which is a little bit too important, I would say. I don't really want to play PvP where the last person who hits the buff gets a huge advantage. I want to play PvP where the fights are more important. There's too many elements in the game right now that I don't feel like belong there in the 1v1 mode, because I mostly play 1v1, so I can't really talk about the conquest that much. I did play some competitive conquest as well. I quit that because my team has an entirely different philosophy on the Fire Giant. It was really simply that. I was the person who rather didn't engage on it. That was just the reason why I kind of quit Conquest. And the reason I quit Duel was too many elements that didn't belong there, including First Blood, for example. Is such a huge element that I feel like it's designed for a team based game with 5v5.
You really feel its importance in like 3v3 Joust as well.
Yes, yes.
It's such a huge advantage.
It is. It's more. I feel like it's designed for conquest, where you're like kind of encouraged to make a risky play in order to get that advantage, get that kill. And you go in, you get a kill, you die because the other teammates finish you off from the enemy. The other enemy finish you off. You get a kill. That is what it's all about. And if you play Duel 1v1, you kill your enemy, but you're not getting killed unless you're diving the tower. But that's not really the case most of the time. So I feel like the reasons why you have First Blood in the game, they're not there when it comes to 1v1. There's no reason for it. It ruins for me, it ruins the game a lot because I don't enjoy winning, and it's because it's just too easy once you have the First Blood, and if you lose, it's too hard, and that's just one element. But there's more elements. It's just a huge bucket list. I couldn't even. I wouldn't even know where to begin. There's just too much wrong with the game. Is why I quit, basically.
Oh, okay. Similar things for a lot of people.
Yes, and the reason I kept coming back to it was not because I was basically checking out if I liked the game at this state, but the biggest reason why I came back is because I just love streaming. It's just I don't really like Smite anymore. It's just been too much wrong with it. I just love streaming, so that's why I sometimes come back.
Okay.
Yeah, this is why.
All right. I'm assuming that kind of ties into the same reason why you stopped uploading videos, just like you weren't streaming like as much, and like there wasn't really a reason to upload, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. And when I did come back for a bit, I was actually streaming quite some, and I was considering re-uploading videos, but I felt like if I did that, I would just I wasn't entirely sure if I would keep streaming and playing because I wasn't really enjoying the game, only streaming. So I wasn't really entirely sure if I could continue it if I started uploading like one video. I didn't really feel like it would add anything to my channel or something if I made one video and then just stopped after that again.
Okay. I guess you've kind of already explained your like current thoughts on Smite.
Yeah.
Do you have like any like final things you want to add?
Well, not really. It's just it's like when you maybe I can say like with a metaphor, like you go to like a restaurant you really like, you're like going there maybe once every week even, and the food has been wrong so many times that you just don't want to go there anymore. There's too many mistakes. It's for me it's just done for. It's just a done deal. So much wrong. Just also the tiny details. Maybe that's something I would like to add. that they should pay way more attention to tiny details. And what I mean by that is not just the in-game features, also the features out of the game when it comes to like ranking systems and stuff like that. It's been horrible the entire time for Duel for sure. I guess for Conquest as well, it's been horrible. Now I believe it's better with the new MMR system. And I'm glad they did that, but for Duel, it really doesn't seem to work. When I played, maybe they changed it already, but you had to get a certain amount of ELO to get into the top 25. Not even 25 people reach that because there's still little people playing. It deflates the ELO. This is how ELO works, basically. If there's little people playing, then you cannot really obtain as much. It was just a horrible system. People kept camping. There was no decay. Decay should be in a game, I would say. But just the tiny details, I would say, it's just what separates a good game from a bad game. They should pay more attention to that.
Much like the top players of other games, they don't need to constantly be number one, because we already know they're the best. Now you may be thinking that I'm missing someone, but don't worry, I'm saving the big cheese for last. FrostFangs started off making Noskov and Borderlands videos in late 2014, but settled into making Smite content shortly after, and stayed with that for about 3 years in total before leaving. While primarily uploading Smite, he always made sure to include other games from time to time. This changed slightly, however, when Hi-Rez first introduced Paladins. Frosty was one of the first people to jump onto the boat, and his channel soon became a mix of the two games. Eventually though, the number of Paladins uploads outpaced his Smite content, until he released his final Smite video on the 23rd of November 2017, with no explanation given to why he had left. To this day, the boy is still uploading full gameplay videos with his commentary over them, focusing primarily on Paladins. Although, I suspect moving from one high-res game to another wasn't the smartest decision, but still being active certainly makes getting a hold of him for this video easier. I am now going to move on to the drama that surrounds FrostFangs within the Smite community, although I suspect that you already know what it is. I would simply provide a link to the video PunkDuck made, but it's blocked due to FrostFangs filing it for defamation, so I've made this quick abridged version of events to explain what happened. For the uninformed, in early 2016, FrostFangs requested a new editor for his videos, and Duck jumped onto the chance to make some extra dosh. Frost and Duck agreed to a price to be paid to Duck per video. However, Frost told him that he could no longer pay him the full price and cut it by half. This combined with abuse he was receiving from FrostFangs while he was streaming, including insults and receiving quote-unquote attitude from the man, such as receiving bans and treating Duck like shit in general. Duck had enough of this shit and told Frost he wouldn't edit his videos anymore, so Frost got salty and cried. They proceeded to know each other for a little while longer, before Duck found out that Frost had purged him from his life completely for seemingly no reason, including Skype, stream moderation, and featured channels. Frost pretty much lied about the entire event, and Duck went completely insane, made the video that this is the abridged version of, and Frost continued to be a faggot by taking down the video. It was a massive shit show, and due to the video PunkDuck made, FrostFangs is practically a joke within the Smite community now, and his Paladins fans who choose to look deeper don't seem to like what they see. The final words on FrostFangs. Well, he tried. FuTaWuh started posting content in May of 2014, which consisted of various shorts on DayZ. Now I'm not going to say DayZ. This would continue for a while, before deciding to branch out towards League of Legends. His League content was prepared differently, having various highlights being presented in a far more montage-esque way with music in the background. This would all change when he created his first Smite video, being published in November of 2014. His series Smite the Objective would start here and set the model for his future content. While there were a few more DayZ videos after this, the game even being represented in his channel banner, it was plain to see that Smite had become the main focus of his channel. This would all come to an end in August 2016, where his last video, One Punch Ymir, was uploaded, with no mention of his departure in the description or announcement on Twitter that he was leaving. In fact, the latter was abandoned outright. He has actually responded to comments pretty recently, however, so he is definitely still around. I suppose he's just disinterested in content creation now. Asking him for an interview in the comments or Twitter may seem like a fruitless effort, considering his inactivity, but it's worth a try anyway.
How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I had a friend who was playing it quite a bit, and then he knew that I was playing League of Legends quite a lot, and then he asked me to try it out, and I really liked it whenever I first played it. And then I don't know what it was about it that made me stick with it. I feel like the community in it was a lot less toxic than League of Legends, and it seemed like it was a little bit more tight knit whenever I started making videos for it. There was a lot of support and people were cool, and yeah.
All right, sounds pretty good. Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos in general, not related to like just Smite?
I've always, actually, back whenever I was younger, me and my friend were big into wrestling, like pro wrestling, and like we would bounce around on the trampoline and do like the power bombs and stuff, and we would film ourselves actually doing it, and we would upload it to Google Videos at the time. I don't think YouTube was around, or it was had just come out. And then, funny story, some of our classmates actually found those videos and made fun of us for a bit.
Mate, that's awesome.
So they were promptly taken down.
Mate, those videos are awesome. I can't imagine power bombing your younger brother. I would have bragged about it in class.
Right. And then, I don't know, we made a bunch of stupid videos and uploaded them. And then ever since then, I've been I've been making videos actually quite a bit. Anytime it was for school or university, any chance I got that I could make a video, I would. And then what really got me into YouTube videos was DayZ. I was playing that quite a bit, and then there was a lot of stupid stuff that me and my friends would get up to, so we decided just to hit record one day. And it happened that something really hilarious happened and kind of kickstarted with me. And then I played DayZ for a while, and then it kind of fell off. And then that's whenever I tried some League of Legends videos, and then I tried some Smite videos, and Smite really took off. And then I came up with that whole series. I can't remember what it was called anymore.
Smite the Objective.
Yes, Smite the Objective. Yeah. And then I made a bunch of parody videos, and a lot of people were confused whether they were real or not. And I would always laugh in the comments. Yeah.
All right. What was the reason you left Smite behind?
I found that with Smite, there is a lot of bugs that kind of would make me rage. And me and my friends that I played with, Chef Zed and Nipple Nugget, they're often in my videos. I found that it was getting to the point where we would start getting mad with each other, and it wasn't as fun, and it was just more about making video content than actually enjoying the game. And then I kind of took a big step back and was like, this isn't fun for me anymore. So a lot of it came down to just the bugs, and just in general, me and my friends getting too competitive. But we never played any of like the 5v5 or Conquest, I guess, or it might have been called. I was always more into the 3v3 or the all middle random. And even then, it was just getting too much, and we would always argue with one another, I guess.
Okay. Since that kind of answered the next question, like when you start making videos, I won't ask that one. So I'll move on to the final question, unless you have anything else to add.
Actually, yeah, it kind of ties into it, but I stopped making videos altogether because I went back to, or I was going to university for environmental design, which is like landscape architecture.
Oh.
And I found that I couldn't balance the two, and I had to make a choice between making videos or staying in school and finishing up my degree. So I chose going with the degree because that was a sure thing. And now I finished a degree and I don't want to even do it anymore. I found a job in there in that field, and I fucking hate it. Now I want to go back to school for comp sci and find something in that field, software development or something along those lines. Yeah, I've actually thought about it a lot about going back to making videos, but then I remember how much time. I'm sure you're well aware of this, how much time and effort it takes, and how on you always have to be. And
it's a huge commitment. It's like something you just kind of like learn to think about constantly, like new ideas and like stuff you look for it.
Totally. And then gaming became more of a chore out of that. I was constantly on, and I was constantly like what can be good content. And whenever I was playing with friends, I was like overreacting to stuff, and it just like felt very fake. And I mean, if I did make another video, it would be, I wouldn't put them out as often, and it would be more like genuine, I think. So yeah, it got pretty exhausting after a while.
Okay. Well, I'll move on to the final question now. What are your current thoughts on Smite, if you have any at all?
I haven't actually played it in a really long time. I know they've been coming out with gods like crazy, and they kind of look pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever play it again, to be honest.
All right.
Every time my friends ask if I want to play it, I just kind of, there's a lot of other stuff that just kind of, I don't know how to phrase this.
Would like just rather play.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could play like the main game I'm playing actually right now is Rocket League, and like it's just quick little games, and like I don't really care if I lose. Where something about Smite and something about playing with other people that I don't know, randoms that I have to rely on to win the game, it just infuriates me.
Mate, I'm the exact same way.
Right?
It's why I just love fighting games, and why I hate Rainbow Six Siege. I hate competitive games where you have a team. I just hate other people.
Yes, right? Like League of Legends, Smite, Overwatch, like all those games where you have to rely on random other people.
I just can't do it.
Nope, it drove me insane. So I just kind of I've veered away from those types of games, and I play a lot more like Rocket League, and I don't know, I'm big into Magic the Gathering as well right now.
Yeah, pretty good.
FuTaWuh's videos were and still are beloved by sections of the community and even older creators. It's just a shame he had to leave us like this. RobinBoy posted his first montage in April 2015, where it would set the precedence for the rest of his channel, Loki. This would continue for 2 years, as he uploaded a total of 12 montages on Loki, and a few one-off montages on other gods. He would also dabble in Smite edits near the end of his channel uploads, but it never seemed to replace his simple montage format. This would all come to a close in August of 2017, where he uploaded his last Loki montage with no notice that he was leaving. He had no other social platforms, like Twitter to my knowledge, so getting into contact with him will be exceptionally difficult. Although, he has loved moderately recent comments on his videos, so perhaps there is a chance. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
Me and a few friends saw a YouTube video of it back in closed beta days. Can't remember whose. Most of them quit rather fast, but I was impressed with the game mechanics and how some characters played out, like Loki.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
I thought I was playing alright, and thought maybe people would enjoy that.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
I didn't really quit Smite, just quit making videos.
Why did you stop making videos?
Doing Loki videos, montages to be specific, I felt I had already showed most of the tricks in the book, and I was starting to repeat myself. Being a Loki player back then, getting good clips that are worthy of showing was getting tougher and tougher, since people were getting better and better at playing against Lokis.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
Positive. I think Smite has changed a lot and is in a really good state right now. Recent God releases have been phenomenal, and so many characters are viable to play as. As in Loki's perspective, it's really tough, especially in Conquest. The nerf on his basic attacks was, in my opinion, unnecessary and just pushed him into the dirt.
While Robin's content may have not been the absolute peak of Smite videos, it is still remembered fondly by some people, and I guess the Loki mains need someone to watch. Looking at MonsterPlays' channel now will only show the empty husk of what it once was, with all his videos either being made private or deleted. Explaining this from memory, his channel consisted of montages with a lack of editing presence compared to others, with long gameplay segments of so-called impressive plays being presented with music in the background, and these videos would typically go on for 10 minutes apiece. He was critiqued for this, and also for requesting the viewer to subscribe before gameplay was shown, that and his frequent giveaways. With as much recalled as I can, the only remaining specs of his videos can be found through either Google search results or his Google Plus page. With his Twitter also being suspended and his Twitch account seemingly unavailable, it leaves me only with his community tab as a source of contact. While MonsterPlays' content may have been criticised for lacking creative prowess, he was still able to gain an audience who enjoyed his content despite this, although it seems that his interest in supplying those fans has run out. Pennsylvania started producing montages based on Smite in September of 2015. With content focusing on a specific topic to serve as the theme for that video, such as an item build or character choice set to the appropriate music. While unavailable for viewing now, well, unless you know where to look, these videos would continue to be posted over Season 1 to Season 3. Notable moments also include a video called Light It Up, set to the FuTaWuh Boy song of the same title. This video featured Penny's first and only attempt at an edit. While this must have acted as a message of things to come at some point, what actually came wasn't what was expected. This video was the first within the Smite community to bring attention to Hi-Rez's dark past with their other games, and proposed the idea of the same thing happening to Smite. It also presented other dodgy elements, such as ability similarities between Paladins and Overwatch characters. This video, and possibly the assumed attitude towards Hi-Rez at this point, probably serve as the reason for Penny quitting, as there was no separate announcement. The only other video made was on April Fool's. Tricked a few people though. Nowadays, Penny is posting his photography on Instagram, but seems to have absolutely no interest in Smite whatsoever. While we may be able to tell his opinion on the game due to said Hi-Rez exposed video, it would still be nice to get in contact and ask him a few questions. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
Oh, well, it was 2012, 13. I don't even remember when the closed beta was. I was playing a tryhard in Assassin's Creed multiplayer, saw the ad, submitted an email, and one day I got an email with a code. Worth it to mention I never played MOBAs before. So, there was third person, there was sessions, there was new characters, learning elements, and all of that made me put in a good amount of time into the game.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
I love montages. You know how kids feel when they see a mega edited and well-timed video and think, I'm gonna make something cool like this, and then one day later you make a piece of shit in Windows Movie Maker? For me, it's not about YouTube. My first videos were uploaded on my Facebook page just for fun with friends. The first video uploaded on my YouTube was a lagging replay of a joust match.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
Well, the devs, to say it generally. I mean, the game has the same problems since 2013. Same engine troubles, same bugs, and what did we get in 2016, 2018? That's right, 1001 reasons to pay for them. Too many skins, events. Yeah, it's free to play and everything, but there are other games where I pay once for the same price of the God Pack, lol, and literally get everything that this game has. I wanted improvements and new features, but it was all about the money. Plus, all my friends were leaving Smite.
Why did you stop making videos altogether?
For the same reasons. If someday I find a game that I'm comfortable with, sure, I'll awaken the channel again. A year ago I was thinking about turning it into my photo guiding lifestyle blog, but that's a dead idea now.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on Smite, if you have any?
I literally haven't seen the game in a while, but you know I can get a screenshot from my friend's server where 90% of the people there are Smite players from 2014 to 2016.
Pennsylvania's interest in Smite may be as low as the Mariana Trench, but his editing and videos still brought smiles and inspiration to many. But most importantly, the memories of watching his videos for the first time. Releasing his first video in August of 2015, titled Ravana, the Dank King of Bitch Slap, Sharkey's first release saw some pretty impressive success. I have no idea if there is any past to Sharkey and his noticeable adept level of editing, since I couldn't find anything. But this guy seemed to be on a roll after his first release. Only a month and a few days later did he release his currently second and last video, this one in particular being an inspiration for myself. It's unknown to why Sharkey decided to stop content creation after these two releases. No announcement video or Twitter post was ever released. While only 2 videos appear on Sharkey's channel, there was a third about a year ago. This was an announcement video of his comeback, with Fortnite gameplay in the background. The video seems to have been deleted however, with no other mentions of it anywhere other than my memory, so you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. For many people, this is all that there exists for Sharkey, but he did actually have another channel, called Sharktonium. He seemed to run this channel in collaboration with another individual called Skeletonium, and the only mention of him that I could find was this appearance in this video where he is credited in the description with a link to a channel that no longer exists. The Sharktonium channel again only posted 2 videos, the first being a Smite montage on Hell released on the 6th of December 2017, and the second video being released only 3 days later, being a Dark Souls short. There was also a PUBG video made on the channel, but it seems to have been removed, with the only evidence of it existing being this Reddit post. I'm sensing a pattern. Sharkey is a complete mystery. His sudden appearance was only matched by how quickly he left, and it's ultimately a shame since his videos clearly had a lot of work put into them. I doubt any of my methods of contact will result in anything, but maybe it's best that we don't solve this mystery, because if we do, then why think on it further? ItsChadGaming started in May of 2015, posting a short funny moments montage that just featured him and his friend playing the game. This content would soon be paired with another series called Chad's Briefs, where a simple short clip would be presented. His montages would soon see the addition of music at this point, and the standard for the rest of his channel would be set. He would continue to post videos with different focal points, such as different gods and ideas, each receiving their own video. This carried on until a short break in the new year of 2017, where he apologised for the lack of uploads and promised the future would hold more Smite content. His last video was posted a month later. Contacting Chad's Twitter or YouTube may result in an equal amount of success due to the time that he has been gone for, but I should try at the very least. Chad never reached any larger success within the Smite community, but to create content for so long, perhaps he never minded how many views he got. Maybe he just enjoyed creating a video. I can say that's the reason I keep going at the very least. I really feel like I don't need to explain who GamerPon is. You most likely already know. An explosion that soared high and stopped too soon. Posting her first video in late November 2014, GamerPon seemed to immediately win people over with her content style. To describe said style is harder said than done, featuring combinations of montage-esque moments with music backing impressive plays, moments of silence with text, humorous occurrences of backing music. There really was a lot included in a small video package. It really is difficult to describe her videos due to this. I would recommend you check them out for yourself, but I doubt that you haven't already. But back on topic. This cavalcade of catalogued carcinogen continued to reach uncontrollable levels of success and... I can't think of another C word. The point is, these videos continued production until her final large-scale project, Tear Sings in the Rain, was released. Only a few other short videos were posted until she left in September of 2016. There was a growing trend during that year of Smite, otherwise known as Season 3. Describing Smite past Season 2, or the progression of Smite at all, deserves to be its own video, but I'll keep things simple and just say that Season 3 was disliked by a sizable majority of the player base. Gamerpon was a member of that portion, having videos describing her frustration with Smite in its current state. In April of 2017, the reasoning for her departure was laid bare for everyone to read. I would recommend reading this Twitter post for yourself, but I'll shorten it for argument's sake. Her reasonings include not enjoying the game, disliking Hi-Rez's tendency to ignore the community, making awful balance decisions, finding it difficult to edit games other than Smite, and being busy with her real life. While her passion for Smite left her soul, her creativity didn't, as she now produces digital artwork, posting it on her Twitter and Instagram under the name Undying Ashley. She's even taking commissions for anyone who's interested. Apart from this, she sometimes streams her drawing ventures, and with all this activity, getting in contact with her won't be too hard. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
There was a YouTuber who went by Germa985. They mostly played Team Fortress 2 back when I watched them, but they covered Smite before its release and the mythological characters piqued my interest. The third-person perspective really helped ease into it as someone who considered playing League of Legends but didn't care for the controls.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
They started out as just a joke between me and a friend. Our matches tended to have really fun moments in them, so I thought to edit down some of these moments and supplement them with jokes or references. He liked them well enough, so I thought I'd post them on r/Smite. From there they blew up, completely to my surprise, and people started asking me to make more, so I made more. More people subscribed over time, and from there it just started to become more about making content my fans really enjoyed. I felt kind of responsible to do so, since they seem to, and some do continue to, enjoy my videos.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
Official statement, they removed the Nox taunt. Without that, my blood is incapable of pumping. I've been in a limid coma ever since. Now, but seriously, Smite over time just started to feel less and less like the game I loved. Community members, whether they be other YouTubers or beloved members of Hi-Rez, started drifting away from the game. Season 3's changes weren't something I particularly enjoyed at the time, having much preferred the previous two before then. Tying into that, it seems like god balance and releasing gods that weren't broken or useless on launch just wasn't possible for Hi-Rez. Chest and exclusives were less ridiculous than they are now, but I saw the trend and I didn't like where it was going. I had other games I wanted to play, which is why there's a few non-Smite videos on my channel.
Why did you stop making videos altogether?
Editing is pretty time consuming. Generally I need the vague concept before I start, and then I have to go and gather the footage, sifting through it afterwards to find clips I need. If it's not Smite, I need to consider what from my Smite format is something I'd consider recognisable as my style. No voice, decently paced clips, text, etc. and how to apply it to another game. Then comes the actual editing process, which can take a long while for something as short as 4 minutes. Especially if there's lots of things like extra clips overlaid or sound effects to go hunt down and add. Without editing, I have a lot more time for myself. I've been pretty good at filling that time, so fitting editing into that again is something I've struggled with for years now. Plus, I'm not sure how much of my audience would appreciate me leaving for several years, only to return and do some completely different game.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
UI sucks, what the fuck is this a Wii game?
Even though she has moved on to greener pastures, Undying Ashley will always remain as an inspiration for many Smite creators, no matter what name she chooses. This first one's gonna be pretty short. Ramu used to create edits within the Smite scene, but he has deleted, re-uploaded, and deleted again his content several times. In case anyone remembers, I think his most popular edit was simply called Loki, but I can't find anything on it anymore. The only image of his old Smite work is this Reddit post, where you can still see the thumbnail. He also partook in one of Duke Sloth's creator show-off weeks, where he got one of his videos on the man's channel. This is the only footage I've been able to find of his old work. Somewhere between all the channel deletions, he changed his alias to Richo, and seems to have gone by that ever since. While it was hard to find, he is now acting as a freelance editor, and considering the quality of the work he made previously and what he chooses to present on his portfolio now, I'd say he's worth every penny. If only I could rewatch his Smite videos just one more time. Originally going under the name I'm Not Pronouncing That, he started producing much more old-school Smite montages, starting in June of 2016 and continuing until October of the same year, where his content had taken a shift to more resemble edits. From here, he departed for a short while, before returning under the name Rainbow Seal in early January 2017. He started posting short Smite edits for one of Ramu's contests called the Ramu 500. After this, he posted short edits for only a month before seemingly quitting content creation altogether. There was no official reason given to why he decided to stop, and I can only assume he no longer enjoyed what he was putting out, as he seems to have disappeared completely. I suppose now I should also mention that the comment section of his final video on his first channel features his reason for quitting the first time, being that he was suffering from a lack of motivation and feeling that he was trapped in the wrong body. I may have been insensitive up until now, because he may prefer to be seen as a she, but back on point. She doesn't seem active at all on her channel anymore, and I doubt I'll be able to get a Discord friend request from her out of nowhere. Shame. Anyways, I guess sometimes your personal life can truly get in the way of your creation process. That and motivation and inspiration can simply be missing sometimes. Although, I do wonder why the phrase "nothing special" is in her channel banner, since I have a feeling that her fans would say the contrary. You editors need some more self-appreciation. Vcry started posting content in April of 2016. For almost a year, he was only posting videos of the music that was used in the Smite show called Top 5 Plays of the Week. However, it seemed that the man had greater aspirations than this. Possibly being inspired by other videos surrounding the content scene, Vcry posted his first montage in late September of 2016. This continued until April of 2017, where he posted an update video sharing his thoughts on Smite and his direction for his future content, specifically the creation of a new channel.
I think I might make a new channel. I might just leave this one behind. Still gonna have the same logo and whatnot. However, I think, for the most part, because of this whole new mic situation, you know, I want to branch out into other stuff that I'm interested in, like singing, like, you know, and like singing and all that sort of stuff, and like voice acting and whatnot, narrating.
This new channel was called Entity, where he would quickly post more Smite edits. Although they have now been made unlisted, I was able to find a link to one video luckily. During the heyday of this channel, Entity would also collaborate with other editors, primarily DizzyFox on 2 occasions, providing him gameplay for his videos. I'm not sure when it happened or why, but somewhere down the road, Entity seemingly purged his channel of all videos, changing his name again, this time to Zero. Under his new alias, he has only posted one video, a musical piece which he produced. This one track is in fact what you've been listening to during the duration of this entire section. I think it's pretty good. The only venue open other than YouTube is his Twitch account, which seems to have been abandoned. I think I can safely say that I won't be able to contact him. Bottom line, can you editors stop disappearing? It's making my conservation efforts harder. Penguin, or would you prefer Mr. Death, posted his first video in September of 2013, right in the middle of the Smite beta period. From the beginning, Mr. Death was producing videos filled with various highlights from a single or multiple games, with his commentary recorded in post, a formula which clearly attracted him an audience. Apart from video creation, he would also stream on the side on Twitch, also making highlight videos of those streams and posting them to his channel. For a little over 2 years, Mr. Death would continue posting Smite videos with this format. He did also produce 2 Smite songs, It Ain't Crit and Stacker, with the former being his last Smite video. From here, he would post a few more videos until posting 12 parts of a Let's Play of Dead Rising 2 with his fellow Smite creator Schileru as his partner in this unfinished series, as the last video was released on the 30th of September 2016, almost exactly 3 years from his first upload. After this departure from making videos, Mr. Death would continue to stream on Twitch regularly. He did return in July of 2017 with a PUBG stream highlight video. He then proceeded to take another break until early 2018, posting a few more videos over the duration of 7 months, using the same format as the PUBG one. His last video was posted on the 30th of July 2018. Mr. Death is still streaming to this day, still providing entertainment for us, just in a different format than what we're used to from his videos. This continued activity will grant me much easier access to a conversation with him. Whatever his feelings on Smite may be, they may not matter anymore. Penguin of Death always seemed to be dedicated to making content to entertain people, no matter what format or game he chooses. Schileru may be a name that is familiar to anyone who enjoys the genre of Smite video known as the meme montage, as this man acts as the birth of them. Posting his first video in May of 2014, Schileru would quickly grow a viewer base who enjoyed his content, which consisted of lots of bass and lots of memes. Often posted a few months after each other, these videos would continue to be made all the way to 2016. However, one video posted that year would seem to redirect his content from these montages. Funk Wonkaton is one hell of a Frankenstein's monster, and perfectly describes Schileru's descent into madness. For the next 2 months, he would make more of these absolute classics with the use of the Unreal Engine, and what I assume to be a large number of narcotics. The police must have caught him at some point though, since after his Hercules animation, he disappeared. He posted on Twitter later that year saying that he missed making videos, and the reason why he stopped was because he was going through medical education to become a doctor. He also apparently had an internship at Hi-Res at some point, but was let go. I can see why. His Twitter won't be much help for further information though, since it appears to have been left behind since 2018. This isn't the end however, since he posted one more video in September of 2017, which was shocking live footage of him in his new doctoring profession, murdering and consuming a patient. Oh god. This is where the breadcrumbs end. It seems that Schileru has left behind his content creation days in what I can only assume was to further his medical education. I can attempt to contact him in YouTube comments or messaging his Twitter, but I doubt anything will come from it. No matter what Schileru chooses to do now, even if it is abandoning Smite, his legacy will forever live on as being the inspiration for so many other Smite creators. I wonder if he can see the fruits of his labour. Arjahn. Describing Arjahn is an interesting exercise. While his channel never grew to any large success, he still made content which was enjoyable, for the banter between his friends or the jokes which were presented. Speaking of his content, Arjahn really seemed to make whatever he wanted, whether it would be a montage-esque video, a commentary over one match, or a 6-second video on a single Smite patch. His first video was on Team Fortress 2, being posted in December of 2014. However, the description says that it was a re-upload from a previously deleted channel, so it's up to speculation to when he actually started. His videos would continue to be uploaded whenever he so chose to, on whichever game he wanted, in whichever format he saw most fitting. This would continue for almost 3.5 years, with his last Smite video being uploaded almost 3 years after his channel's creation, and his last video coming 7 months later. Post-Deathstroke here. Arjahn recently uploaded another video about a month ago. It's a tutorial on how to animate a character in Adobe Illustrator and After Effects. In the description he said that it was just for a final project for his college or school or whatever. I don't know if it's just a one-off, but I thought I'd mention it. Anyway, back to the video. He is, however, still mildly active on Twitter, and even replies to Smite-related content. It's unknown if this is just kindness towards friends or not. His opinion on Smite, though, is currently unknown. We can guess that it isn't so positive due to some specific videos, but it would still be nice to get confirmation on this. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I had actually some friends in high school who were super into the beta, so I tried it with them once. I got absolutely butt-dealed by Hevo and stopped playing. Then a year later I tried again and ended up really enjoying the more action-oriented gameplay of Smite versus the top-down MOBAs. It sort of felt like it was a really loose third-person shooter, and since I mainly play shooters it was a nice fit. I also really liked ults way back when. I remember playing Ymir and Conquest laning with my buddy and I'd always solo ult the red buff because I was smart. From there, Smite was always one of my fallback games when I wasn't playing anything else, along with Team Fortress 2. I'm still not a huge fan of the MOBA genre, so I pretty much only played Siege, Arena, and eventually Class because I love teamfighting. I also ended up making some great friends who I still play games with through other Smite tubers like Chad.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
Oh man, I've been making shitty YouTube videos since I was like 9 years old, uploading PowerPoint tours on my RuneScape house. I've just sort of always enjoyed making stupid edits and putting them out there, and other people seem to enjoy them at least somewhat, which feels great. I've gone through a bunch of weird phases of uploading, like little baby Arjahn making stop motion videos, edgy teenage Arjahn making star ripoffs, higher res Arjahn where I just plastered Smite character head PNGs over movie clips, and modern Arjahn where I just don't upload anything.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
Playing Smite is like being in an abusive relationship. You put up with all the horrible shit because deep down you love the thing. It's buggy, runs like shit because its programming is fundamentally flawed, and it feels like the devs just don't play the game sometimes. My breaking point was when Jing Chen's leap was so thoroughly fucked that playing him was damn near impossible. They said like 15 times they fixed it in patch notes, but I never felt it. Of course they just straight up removed him from the game a little while back because he was so broken, but it was too little too late for me. There's also the fact that trying to make Smite videos is like trying to rip your toenails off with a set of pliers. I got to a point where one of the r/Smite mods hated me so much that they just randomly delete my videos from the front page of the subreddit and have some super flimsy justification about breaking a rule that isn't listed anywhere. I've done a lot of stupid shit in the Smite community for sure. That selective enforcement just really killed my enthusiasm. I've been playing other games, a lot of Overwatch and a bunch of single-player stuff. I've also really gone back in Dungeons & Dragons the past few years, which is awesome because it's my favourite thing in the universe. If I start making videos again, they're probably going to be about D&D or long-winded rants about TV shows.
Why did you stop making videos altogether?
Like I said in my last rambly answer, mods deleting my videos kind of soured my grapes for a while. I'm also getting a degree in making videos right now, which means I'm way better at editing, but I also do it for stuff like old people exercise program commercials. I'm in a lot better of a place with my personal life nowadays than I was in my Smite video prime, so I've been focusing on other pursuits and making goofy edits when I get an idea for one, like that Warframe one I posted about 11 months ago. I'm going to keep making videos, doubt I'll ever really stop for good, not sure what I'd make them on right now. I fucking love the 5 people who comment on every one of my vids, gotta keep up for them.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on Smite, if you have any?
I haven't really been keeping up with it. I reinstall once every few months and the bugs kinda get to me. I do enjoy the single-player adventures they release. I actually speedran the first one they did a few years ago and got into the top 300, which was fun. Apparently Jing Chen is less buggy now that they put him into a medically induced coma and woke him up when he was feeling better.
Arjahn may have no interest in content creation currently, but I'll always remember the only Jing Chen main to ever exist. Lucretzia. Lucretzia started his channel posting Smite content from the very beginning, with his first video being a highlight reel of noir gameplay with very slight audio editing, posted in June of 2014. His next video would be posted a little over 2 years later, but a link in the description of this video raises suspicion of other videos now removed. But back on topic, this video would create the format that Lucretzia would use for the rest of his future content. His first trial run with this concept, top 5 worst teammates in Smite, would gain a large amount of attention, so much that he would repeat the top 5 formula many times, but also giving time to other discussion videos. He would continue to upload these videos with a very sporadic schedule, sometimes the videos only being days apart, or several weeks passing without information. In August of 2017, he would take a short break before returning in October with an update video, claiming that he was busy taking care of his at the time ill guinea pigs. After this, he would disappear again before another update video in January of 2018, where he spoke about the partnership changes within YouTube. 1 month after this, he would upload another top 5 video, and 7 months later in September he would post a funny moments video featuring his friends. This would be the last Smite video uploaded to his channel. From here, a few short clips of Rainbow Six Siege were uploaded, along with a funny moments compilation on said game. Another 3 months would pass before he would upload again, but he returned with news which wasn't so positive. He explained that he was feeling depressed with a lack of motivation for both YouTube and personal projects, being unable to stick to self-made plans and not making the most out of his days.
I feel like I try to change so many different things in my life, but nothing ever really gets that much better. I kind of feel stagnant permanently, and it it hasn't been very healthy lately. I've really just I spend a lot of my time just not really doing anything, and there's so many things that I just want to do, so many projects that I starting and then stopping, and then I've got so many half-finished projects and so many different things that I want to do, but I never really feel that I, one, have the time for it, even though I've got plenty of time, because that's all that I have, because I don't really do much outside of working and sleeping and eating. And
a few days later, he would post a video about a game that he was developing called Elementalist, with footage from the game, and a readout from the main character's voice actress, linked to a Patreon and a separate Twitter also being presented. Now that we're all caught up, it would be good to know how he's doing.
How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I first found out about Smite because, funny enough, my sister and my brother-in-law were playing it back when it was like in super early beta, and I never really thought the game was that great, so I never played it. And then one day my roommate and I were just bored as hell. So we were looking for a game that would be like kind of PvP centered, because we both played WoW and liked PvP. And so he and I actually started playing Smite, and he liked it for a bit and then really stopped liking it, but I really liked it, so I kept on playing. But we would do shit like Thor and Sun Wukong duo lane and just garbage noob stuff like that. As far as what made me stick with it for a while, I really like the third person over the shoulder kind of camera angle, so that it didn't feel like, because I've played a lot of MOBAs. I actually played the original Dota and Warcraft 3, so I've never really been into the top view type MOBAs. So Smite really didn't feel like a MOBA. It felt more like an MMO kind of.
Yeah.
So
Kind of a bit more action orientated, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot more action oriented. So that's kind of what made me stick with it for a while. And then I just started actually getting kind of good. And then funny enough, I had the whole reason I even started everything is because of iFunny. Believe it or not, like when I downloaded iFunny and joined like a Smite community. And that's where I met my first Smite team. And my friend Marcel was running he had a dream of making his own esports team. So I joined up with him, and we made Crimson Gaming. And then I ended up being the main support for them. And we did a few tournaments and got our name out there a little bit and got sponsored by a really shitty esports organization. And then I became the main support for them. And we did some tournaments and didn't really have a whole lot of success. We did Challenger Cup and came in 16th out of I think 100 teams. So that was
still
pretty
cool. Good.
Yeah. So we were pretty good. The management of the esports organization really sucked though. So they ended up kicking like 3 of the members. I became the captain. And then they got some random people in that just had really bad work ethic and didn't take anything seriously. So it ended up disbanding. I actually ended up joining them as a Hearthstone player, and then they kicked me out. So I think about that time is kind of when I stopped liking Smite, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos? Not like just related to Smite, but in general.
My first upload is a privated upload that will never air. And
you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It was called Blend Don't, and I basically took a bunch of things and put them in a blender and was like, "Yeah, this is great." And it was just a really bad video, so I immediately privated it, and that'll stay in the archives. But I wanted to do YouTube because I thought it'd be a fun little hobby to do. When I first started, I had a really shitty computer, so I would do like when I really first started, I was doing I started with rant type videos that were not very good and like story time stuff. And then I moved on to like Outlast Let's Plays. And then for whatever reason, I started doing like Smite top 10s, and those started getting like super popular. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to build my whole channel on Smite. Which at that time I was already kind of leaning off the game a little bit because that was after the Challenger Cup. So I was already like kind of on a downfall of Smite, but I had a lot of good ideas in my head. So I guess I just wanted to make stuff for people to kind of laugh and just kind of fill in a void, I guess.
I'm not sure if this is actually applicable to you, but if you have quit Smite, then what is the reason for doing that?
I've actually quit Smite a few times. Right now I'm playing it, but only when my friends don't want to play anything else. But I quit Smite because I got to the point where I was playing it like full time. I have like 2,000 hours played of Smite, and it got to the point where I was playing Smite so much that I was like neglecting like my actual like life. Because when you're doing esports and like tournaments and stuff, you have to dedicate a lot of time because you've got scrims that you have to go on. There's actually practice that you have to do as far as like not so much with Smite, but like typing exercises and like clicking exercises and stuff like that is something that a lot of people don't know, but it helps a lot with like reaction times. So there's actually a lot of stuff outside of the game that you have to focus on. And I think really the team that I was on, because of the management of the organization, really kind of killed my interest in Smite. And then I started getting really burnt out from all the videos that I was making because I stopped thinking of like ideas for them, and the quality started kind of dropping, and I just wasn't making stuff I really liked. So that, and when you're playing any game for like 4 or 5 years, it just kind of gets old. It loses that special feeling. So I think I really just kind of lost that with Smite, and I'm picking it back up a little bit, but I don't think it'll ever be as high as it was before.
Yeah. You'll never really be on that honeymoon period again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Final question. What are your current thoughts on the state of Smite, if you have any?
Current thoughts on the state of Smite?
Just like the game in general, I guess.
Yeah. The state of the game as far as like player base is starting to dwindle, but also being like, I don't know what the word for it would be, but like
stagnant.
artificially, well, kind of stagnant, but also like artificially growing, because they're losing like, I feel like the PC player base is kind of dwindling, but they're making up for that in the fact that it's on all 3 major consoles now. And there's the split play, so everybody can cross realm stuff. Yeah, so I think cross platform is helping and hurting. As any game gets popular, like a lot of people will say that Smite was super good and like the player base was awesome in like beta, and then as it got more popular, it got more toxic. But I mean, that's pretty much true with any game. As more and more people get into it and start taking things seriously, I think toxicity just comes from that. So I don't think that Smite is necessarily becoming more toxic. I think it's just more like with it being more popular and attracting more people, you're gonna get some of that toxicity. As far as other things, I'm trying to think of more of the stuff as far as I think they have too many maps. I think when they brought in Siege, it was nice, but then they added like Clash and some other stuff, and I feel like too many modes kind of hurt the game a little bit.
Yeah, like you mean like the player base is kind of like divided amongst all the game modes.
Yeah, exactly, because a lot of people seem to play either Arena or Assault, or not Assault, but Conquest. So if you want to queue for like a Siege, you're either going to get people, it's either going to be a really long queue time, or you're going to be up against like 4 people who only play Siege.
Even if it's not video content, Lucretzia still seems to have a passion for creation within him, even if he sometimes stumbles in the process. SpiffSinister. Looking at SpiffSinister's channel now will only show a vast desert with a shining tower in the centre, a shell of what it once was, but a desert still holding a precious jewel. What I speak of is the only video that is not private on Spiff's channel, an incredibly detailed documentary on Smite about the history of a competitive team called Obey, previously going under the name Titan, uploaded in April of 2017. If you have any interest in Smite competitive at all, I would strongly recommend this video to you. Apart from this, Spiff had also been seen in the director's chair on a documentary uploaded to the official Smite YouTube channel later that year in December, focusing on the competitive players Jeff Hindler and Barracuda. This seemed to have been the last project that Spiff worked on, as on the 29th of March 2018, he announced on his now deleted Twitter account that he was retiring from creating Smite content, with no explanation being given or saved. The only thing I could find past this point was a video on Nshadow's channel, where Spiff was replaced as the commentator in this one-off idea. I'll also mention here that Spiff had interactions with other creators and starred in separate videos from time to time. But let's go back in time before the Obey documentary. Spiff had multiple series of shows uploaded to his channel: The Adventures of SpiffSinister, Last Week to Smite, and Meet the Fans of the SPL. This was also alongside highlight videos of his streams and moments from the Smite Pro League. He would also create a website called The Turnip, which, in his words, is basically if Smite had The Onion. This website would then later be updated to Smite Central, but the domain has expired as of writing. Apart from this though, and a statement that he had apparently been making videos for 8 years prior, there really isn't anything else I can find on Spiff. He seems to have disappeared completely, deleting all other avenues of contact or interaction, only leaving up one video which he must consider to be superior, otherwise I simply don't understand why. Whether it be due to moving onwards with his career opportunities, growing a disdain for Smite, or simply wanting to leave it all behind, SpiffSinister will be fondly remembered for what he produced. With his first channel upload being in May of 2012, on a World of Warcraft guide of all things, Hotsawwce would only post 2 more videos before leaving for almost 2 years. One of these 2 videos would feature the death of one of his friends via intoxication. In March of 2015, he would return with a God Pronunciation Guide, a comedic video which displays the canon readings of deities' names with impeccable audio quality.
Raymay.
For the following year, he would continue to post several types of videos, ranging from God Reveal parodies, montages, to even a Sky Williams knockoff. All this would come to a close in early January of 2016, the start of Smite's 3rd season. Later that year in March, he would return with an update video, but not with any positive vibes. He described his current situation being tough, explaining his college work and his boredom with it, a breakup with his at the time girlfriend, and a lack of motivation to edit videos. Interestingly, he also mentioned MythyMoo's God Reveal videos in such a way that he seemed distraught that someone jacked his style while getting more attention, and according to him, did it better. After these uploads, 2 years would pass before his most recent video, which was a short announcement of his new Twitch channel in August of 2018. The description also explained how he was doing, and things seemed to be going alright. His Twitch channel though hasn't seen a stream in a while, and his Twitter account doesn't look to have been used since September of 2018. Getting in touch with him at this point wasn't going to be straightforward, but I have my ways. Hotsawwce may have wanted to continue producing videos, but it just seemed like the universe was against him. Posting his first video on the 6th of January 2017, Pabbs' first video was a simple meme about F-Dot. His first real video was posted a few days later, being a comedic rant about the state of Smite. Pabbs showed adeptitude in video editing right from the beginning, and an ability to hold the viewer's attention through jokes and legitimate points. After this video, the precedence or joke about Pabbs' channel, even by himself, was set, uploading sometimes. Over the duration of 2017, he would produce a video series named The Best Fucking Title Guide, using the same formula as his Smite rant, while also featuring the same length as he seemed to be focused on creating a short, memorable experience. In 2018, he would return with a video about Season 5 of Smite, similarly to his first Smite rant video. After this, he would post one more Smite related video, called How to Get Master's Joust. This video featured a length far longer than his other ones, with sections of gameplay from ranked matches and his usual style of commentary being added in post, both being included into the usual mix. This video is far more important than it might first appear, however, due to the ending being an explanation on his departure from Smite, saying it was due to a lack of enjoyment from the game and wanting to make videos on other ones.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna try to make this quick. Sorry it's taken me so long to edit the video, obviously got real life obligations, but I've barely been playing Smite lately and so my motivation to edit has been shrinking. I know this decision might lose me like all my subs, but I think I'm gonna ignore Smite for a while and do content on whatever game I want because my own videos make me cringe and get bored. I still put the effort, but I'm always thinking about other stuff I could be doing, so yeah, hopefully my videos from now on will actually be good. Bye.
After this, Pabbs would upload a video every few months, with the focus of said videos being on whatever topic he so desired. Hopefully this continued activity will make contacting him far easier.
Anyways, How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
Must have been around 2014, just a random summer camp or something. There were like big Spanish YouTubers that played it at the time, so like there was quite a pressing community. Had a friend who played it, so we got into it together. I don't know, it's just fucking fun in it. Like, I sucked ass. I still suck ass, to be fair. But, you know, we found out about the SBL competitive shit. So, I don't know. It was just a mix of, like, purely entertaining gameplay, different from what we played at the time, aka fucking Minecraft in it. And just a solid community that was pretty alive. So, yeah.
All right. Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos, like in general, not related to Smite?
So is this? Are we talking like OG shit, like old?
Yeah. Like, why did you want to make videos, like in the first place?
Okay. I mean, I just like making shit, man. I've always liked making shit. I mean, when I was a fucking like I don't know, like 9, 10, I was already making YouTube videos. So I'm talking 2009 maybe, because that was the content I consumed. And because I like making stuff, I guess that was just, it kind of became an inspiration at the same time. I guess that's how everything works, really. So like I started making like trash tutorials when I was like 10. Then obviously went through the Minecraft videos phase. MLG phase had to be there. Fucking, and eventually my like Smite adventure and my YouTube adventure kind of merged together. So I made Smite videos.
Very nice. All right. What was the reason you quit Smite?
Smite videos or Smite in general?
Both, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, I stopped making Smite videos because I stopped playing Smite pretty much. I don't know. I guess it was a bit of a shame that I started making Smite videos towards my time, or the time in my Smite career, say, that I was starting to feel the burnout. So I don't know. It kind of picked up, and by like 4 videos in, I was like, I don't know. Maybe like I'd say half of my Smite videos I probably didn't even want to make originally, but because the first 2 that I made, or like the first 3 or whatever, like became like mildly popular, I kind of felt a bit obligated to keep going. But I don't know. I just stopped playing. Like after 5 years, like burnout is there.
All right.
That's about it.
Okay. Final question. What are your current thoughts on Smite, if you have any?
My current thoughts. Well, I haven't played Smite. I'll explain myself. Sorry. I haven't played Smite in about a year and a half, maybe. Like, yeah, I'd say about a year and a half. It has only been in this past 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, that I have actually started playing Smite again, and I'm enjoying myself, which is kind of crazy. Does that mean I'll make Smite videos? No, probably not. Like, just no. I have too many like different ideas to like go ahead and be like, oh, I'm gonna make a fucking Smite video, even though I know that would probably get me more views. But whatever. I don't know what I've been playing now. I've actually enjoyed. That's probably because there's a partial novelty. I barely played any season 5. Didn't get to explore the new Conquest map properly. So now I'm back into Conquest. I'm playing ranked games. There's duo queues back, so I can play with my friend. And I don't know. I'm actually enjoying it, but I don't know. Maybe a month from now, I'll see some like some holes or some gaps or some problems that the game has that I can't see right now from my naive perspective. But I don't know. I am actually enjoying it. sorry if that's not exactly what you want to hear. Or
No, that's fine.
While Pabbs may see his Smite content as being unimpressive, myself and I'm sure many others would elect to disagree. However, it seems that whatever he makes comes with an extraordinary level of detail and passion. It's only a shame that he hasn't reached any higher form of success yet. Being the only animator present here, Leadian's first video was posted in late October of 2015. She posted short Smite-related animations, which were focused on presenting comedy to the viewer. While there never was a seemingly rock-solid schedule for uploads, animations seemed to come roughly around a month of each other, while other videos, such as a drawing series, were created and uploaded with far less delay. Midway through 2016 in August, a League of Legends animation was posted, as the start of a new series. This wasn't to replace the Smite animation however, as they would share equal upload rates from here. This continued as normal until January of 2018, where Leadian seemingly disappeared, and with pretty much no activity on any other platform other than Twitter, which was only used for advertising her videos, there was no way to know if Leadian would return without a reply to a comment. Nothing else was posted until later that year in June, where her last video was posted, and no explanation to her departure. Other than that, she has also posted some artwork on the Unity asset store. The channel and Twitter look to have been abandoned, so I don't expect any of my attempts of communication to show any positives. Such a shame too. It's so sad to see such a unique content creator just disappear with no reasons being given. I guess we can only speculate now. OzzaWorld posted his first video in March of 2014. Well, his first video to us. The description indicates that there may have been others which are now private, but that's neither here nor there. Would be two types of songs that would feature on Ozza's channel: parodies of already existing ones, or original pieces, with the latter being far less common but still prevalent. The first 3 videos would be uploaded very far from each other, with more private uploads being possible. But it wouldn't be until January of 2016 where Ozza would publish his first Smite parody song.
We were in a lane there, losing it all on my own.
Possibly being enraptured by the game at the time, for the next 7 months, Ozza would continue to post only Smite musical parodies. This was until the release of Blizzard's hero shooter and Hi-Rez's hero shooter, Overwatch, and Paladins. Ozza must have been on one hell of a honeymoon with these 2 games, because they would quickly become the main focus of his channel, with the 2 games receiving their first parodies from him in September and October of that year, gaining many more musical pieces, even to the current day. This, however, seemed to have meant that Smite would have to be disregarded, as only 2 more songs were made, with one being a Christmas carol featuring other prominent Smite creators, and the other being his last Smite parody, posted on February of 2017. There was no explanation that I could find to why he stopped making Smite parodies. I can only assume it was due to the rising popularity of Overwatch and Paladins, simply compared to the game. Or I could be looking into things too much, and it was simply due to him enjoying those titles more. Whatever the reason may be, it seems to have not halted Ozza's progression in the slightest, as he has even collaborated with Hi-Rez to create original songs for Paladins. Impressive stuff. Still, closure on his leave from Smite would be nice. How did you first find out about Smite, and what made you stick with it for a while?
I first heard about Smite from a friend back in high school because I'm really into ancient history. I got home and decided to check it out on YouTube, and that's when I stumbled across MaxTooTheLimit. I didn't know then that we'd go on to be good friends, but he had so much fun with it that I just had to give it a go. I stuck with it because of the community. Like any MOBA, it gets a bad rep for toxicity, but the sheer quantity of talented artists and creators was very impressive for such a small title, and the Hi-Rez staff were so enthusiastic about my work that I decided that was where I wanted to be.
Why did you originally want to make YouTube videos?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I've always loved being creative, and it just started as a place to share my art and music. I would be lying if I said when I first started out I didn't dream of fame and riches, but realistically I never thought I'd even get to where I am now.
What was the reason you quit Smite?
Classic case of overexposure, really. I play it every day, and it started to get old. Other games like Overwatch came out, and my friends were getting itchy to move on too. This, coupled with the fact that it just didn't pull the views compared with the bigger titles, meant that it wasn't really sustainable for a monetized channel.
Final question. What are your current thoughts on Smite, if you have any?
I've heard nothing but good things from the people I know still playing. The character designs and skins still look gorgeous and fresh, which is very impressive, and I'm glad it still has such a dedicated fan base. As to whether or not I'll give it a go again, all I can say is that we'll see. I'm very fickle, and it's easy for me to get distracted by newer and flashier titles.
While parody songs, especially those based on video games, may not be to everyone's tastes, they still always seem to find an audience. The relevance of Minecraft parody songs and original music proves that. OzzaWorld provided this content for those people within the Smite community, and did them one better while at it. His departure from Smite may have been brought with despair, but his continued success can only bring a happier future for him and his fans. Okay, well, I think that's all of them. I'm not missing one, am I? What do you mean? You're right. You never forget your first. Innocent Rabbit posted his first video in May of 2014, showing that he was matched with his brother, only a staircase away, in a public match. The video was an edited highlight reel of sorts, only showing moments of Rabbit's team getting the upper hand or parts where you could hear his brother. Speaking of which, the video was also subtitled slightly for the sibling, because he could be barely heard to begin with. For 5 months, this would be the only video that would feature on Rabbit's channel, but he would return in October with the format that he would continue to use for the rest of his videos. This would be the focus on one strategy or theme for the video, such as using and abusing a specific item passive or game mechanic. All this while Rabbit and his friends laugh at their ridiculous plans. He would continue to post these videos either a month or a week between each other, as he continued his crusade for a little over a year, until taking a short break in October. During that time, he must have spent countless hours studying the new Joust map, because his return in March of 2016 brought a video featuring the advantages brought by The Gap. After this video though, he would disappear until August of the next year, 2017. The final greatest pullback chain would be the final video he would upload, before seemingly disappearing. Ironically, he made a poll on Twitter whether or not he should upload annually or biannually, failing to meet both. There was never an explanation given to why he had taken his leave, neither in the comments nor on Twitter. We were only left with the emptiness of that Windows XP background. For me, however, the story continues. To those who have been with me since the beginning, or if you simply look at my oldest uploads, you may notice my first Smite video featured Innocent Rabbit on the other team in a completely unplanned joust match. I cannot begin to express the emotions I felt during that game, if only I had my microphone on at the time. But this video isn't important, unless you consider how I began. Rather, the comment Rabbit left me is what I took most from. Him simply commenting on my video and congratulating me on my effort felt so good. But to say why will take some explaining first. From my point of view, Innocent Rabbit has only ever uploaded a video when he had two things: an idea and a passion for said idea. The idea would allow him to create a video with a theme or a specific element to it, and the passion would allow said video's quality to rise above what would normally be expected. Subtitles, transitions, GIFs, sounds, effects. All of these would be factors that would make Rabbit's videos so enjoyable to me. The subtle details which build up to me having a more enjoyable watching experience. And most importantly, he just seemed to make videos for fun and to share his ludicrous game plans. There never seemed to be a monetary focus or wanting internet fame. It was just have fun. This is what I wanted to do with my videos, and what I still want to do. I want all my content to be different, and to be better from the last somehow, with different ideas, effects, jokes, stories. being tested and refined to make something memorable. But most importantly, I would never want to make a video for any other reason than I want to make that video. When Innocent Rabbit commented on my first Smite video, it didn't just make me happy, it gave me motivation to continue, to keep making my videos on my terms only, and to always be improving. That's why Innocent Rabbit is important to me. As for his disappearance, let's be honest, my video probably made him go crazy. I mean, have you seen this thing? It's complete rubbish, and it hasn't aged in the slightest. I bet the reason why Rabbit hasn't uploaded in a while is because he's currently searching for me ever since I uploaded that garbage, and is really trying to hurt me due to him starring in it. Now I'm mildly worried. Maybe the reason why I'm trapped in these white walls, this cage, isn't to keep me from getting out, but to stop someone from getting in.
Some of you may be thinking that I wasted my time making this, that there aren't enough recognisable faces to be considered worth memorialising like this. I obviously disagree. Everyone I see here chose to release a video for others to enjoy, consume, to learn from, or be challenged by. They all had an audience, no matter how small. All the creators listed here, even the ones who aren't. You're all inspirations. You're all exceptional. I remember what it was like to watch all of them for the first time. I remember wanting to be a part of it. That never happened. For the sake of the fallen, we carry on.